What you're looking at is one of the most complex parts of a modern aircraft. I know what you're thinking. It's just a seat. What is he even talking about? Well, actually, this is not a regular seat. It's an ejection seat. In case something goes horribly wrong with the plane, the seat is designed to lift the pilot from the aircraft to a safe distance, and then, with the help of a parachute, allow the pilot to land safely on the ground. Such seats consist of literally thousands of parts, including parachutes, sensors, a rocket motor, and a bunch of other stuff. Ever since ejection seats were invented, they saved thousands of lives that will otherwise be lost. Because the seats are intended to be used when nothing else can be done. Like, this is the last resort to save the pilot's life. In this video, I'll explain how ejection seats work. But first, let's start with a little bit of history. Ejection seats are a fairly new invention. They weren't around during the First and Second World Wars. Back then, pilots simply jumped out of the airplane with a parachute if they needed to escape. But to be fair, they didn't really need ejection seats. Planes were much slower, like they didn't even break a sound barrier. While today, all fighter jets are supersonic. So yeah, pilots would just open the canopy, that's this part, and bail out with a parachute. However, as the Second World War ended, airplane speed started to rise rapidly. For example, in 1947, for the first time in history, the sound barrier was broken by Chuck Yeager in the experimental rocket-propelled X-1 aircraft. And after that, the speed started to increase even further. This led to the active development of ejection seats. To be fair, ejection seats were actually invented during the war, in the early 1940s, independently by Germans and Swedes, and some early concepts date back to the 1920s. But it wasn't until the end of the war that they started to be actively developed. At first, ejection seats were powered by an explosive charge, and in the late 1950s, rocket-powered seats were introduced. This is what ejection seats look like today. Pretty incredible if you ask me. Now let's talk about how they work. As soon as the pilot pulls the ejection handle, the airplane canopy is immediately jettisoned or shattered. In the first case, bolts that hold the canopy are filled with an explosive charge, which during the ejection detonates. After that, the rocket motor attached to the front pushes the canopy out of the way. In the second case, an explosive cord is embedded in the canopy, which detonates and shatters it. Once the ejection path is cleared, the explosive cartridge in the catapult mechanism detonates, pushing the seat out of the aircraft. After that, the rocket motor ignites, pushing the pilot to a safe distance away from the aircraft. What happens next depends on the altitude at which the pilot ejected. If it's fairly high, at first a drag parachute would deploy. It's this tiny parachute that helps to stabilize the seat. But if it's close to the ground, the main parachute will open immediately. And yeah, after that, the seat detaches and the pilot can land safely on the ground. There is this common misconception that ejections are very violent and leave many pilots with severe injuries. It was true back in the day, but nowadays they're actually very safe. Sure, pilots still experience 10 to 20 Gs during the ejection, and this is a lot, but most of the time pilots are okay, and the risk of injury is minimal. Still, it's better to have that option than no options at all.